Street Nasheed right here in Los Angeles, making it do what it do, man. Y'all check out Black Authentic Truth. Get some real good game on YouTube. Black Authentic Truth, man. Check it out, man. Real good information.
Now, this is an article, and you can look this up yourself. This is an article from the Houston Daily Post, and it is dated September 20, 1897, and it talks about a Hebrew that a brother that came from Africa who was a Hebrew. So I'm gonna read. It says, a young African Negro has been in this city for the last few days who claims to be a Hebrew. He is deaf and dumb and as black as the ace of spades. He carries a pad of paper with him and answers all questions by writing them in Hebrew and Lashon Kodesh. Now they're writing it in the so-called Jews language, the way they write Hebrew. Well, really, it's the Lashawan Kodash, which means the holy tongue. So he carries a pad and paper and he talks by writing down the Lashawan Kodash. This is ancient Paleo Hebrew. What excites the most wonder is that he writes Lashawan Kodash very rapidly. It is the language of the books of Moses and is made a special study of, spoken and written with ease only by the rabbis and highly educated Hebrews. So they're looking at it like the people that claim to be Jews, the white people, the rabbis, they are real Jews. So they're perplexed at this brother because he writes in the language that Moses would have wrote in, and he writes it fast. And only really well-educated people could even know this language because the Hebrew changed through the centuries. It changed from the Lashawan Kodash or the Paleo to the Assyrian, which is more modern. It says, the Negro was sent to one of the rabbis of Hartford, who is perfectly satisfied that he is a Hebrew. He says that he came from a large town in Africa where there is a tribe of 20,000 Black Hebrews who speak Lashawan Kodash and are quite prosperous. He also says that his father is a rabbi in that town, and that is why his father took the trouble to teach him to write these languages, which needed an extra amount of labor on account of him being deaf and dumb. He says his people not only write Lashawan Kodash, but it is their speaking language as well. He left home a few years ago and has seen a good deal of the world. In each town, he hunts up the Jewish section, and there they give him clothes, food, and money. What surprises him, he writes, is that no Hebrew knows of his countrymen in Africa. I thought Hebrews didn't exist. I thought Black people that came from Africa is African. And you know what I hate about the word Africa, or when people use that word, because it's like a blanket term, right? But there's more than 54 countries in Africa, hundreds of ethnicities in Africa. So when you say African, you're putting everybody together. When I brought this out, some months ago, where they researched the genomes, the genes of Africans, and none of them are the same. So Nigerians, their genes would be different from Congolese. The point I'm making is that you have all these different groups in Africa. They're all dark-skinned, but they are not the same people. Let me say that again. They're all dark-skinned, melanated, but they are not the same people. Not the same people. You understand? That is a trick of white Europeans and colonialism in American education that tells you that because we come from Africa, we're the same as all of our brothers on the continent of Africa. When even if you go to the continent of Africa, people don't identify with other people. Now, at the end of this article, it says that he is surprised that Hebrews when he meets these people, they don't know about their countrymen back in Africa where he's come from. They don't know that they are Hebrews back. There are people just like them back in Africa. They don't know that. You know what I'm saying? What's crazy also is that he is speaking the ancient Hebrew, which for you know, when you really think about it, it had been forgotten about. People ain't using it like that no more. The ancient Hebrew, if you're speaking the ancient Hebrew in the 1800s, that means you are a Hebrew. You know, that's irrefutable proof you are a Hebrew. Because at this time, they're speaking the Assyrian Hebrew, which comes from the Babylonian captivity, which comes way after Moses. He's speaking he's speaking the Hebrew of Moses. There's another book called the Bambara, where a Jewish scholar went and stayed in West Africa, and he starts to learn the language of these people. And then he starts to realize that the language is Hebrew, and he starts to find words, Hebrew words in the language. And he then in the Bambara, the area of the Bambara, and then he realizes that the words being used for certain things are the same words that would have been used in the time of Moses, the same Hebrew that would have been used in the time of Moses. Meaning we're in a modern time. The Hebrew has changed. You got a cut. Yes, this is definitely a cut to people that say that the Hebrews don't exist. So you can just look this up. You can look it up and you can download it. It is, matter of fact, I will put it in the chat. I will put the article in the chat. This is solid, 100% pure truth that Hebrews were in West Africa. You cannot speak the Lashawan. Not only did he speak the Lashawan Kodash, he said back home, his people, it's like 20,000 of them. They live in good, prosperous, and they speak it fluently.